Hi, viewers, and welcome back to the Huddle. Today I'm with Lotto.com COO Ruxandra Tereanu. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Of course, thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations on the new position. I was wondering what drew you to Lotto.com after more than a decade with Flutter Entertainment and FanDuel, and how does your experience in scaling regulated gaming brands help prepare you for this role?
Oh my God, where should I start? I always like to introduce myself as a builder, and it might sound like a bit strange, but let me tell you why I look at myself as a builder, and this will answer the question why Lotto.com after Flutter for 13 years. If I look back at how I spent my entire career, and this is beyond joining the gaming industry, I always look to solve problems, build teams, build processes, and set up processes and operations and teams for success. I joined the gaming industry. I always joke that it was kind of randomly. It wasn't something very intentional 13 years ago. And since then, my time in Flutter was a lot about building new products in the gaming space, building new teams, building new operations, building new processes. I was fortunate enough to go through two mergers. So when I look back, I consider myself a builder. Now, what a builder likes to do is to build and continue to innovate. So while my last 3 years, 3.5 years in FanDuel, I was part of a big, well-run machine. My transition into Lotto means that I get to be the part of designing and building that machine, which is extremely exciting and challenging at the same time.
Yeah, I'm glad you spoke on all that because I was wondering, as you reflect on your 13 years with both organizations, what are the most transferable lessons in, operations, marketing, and technology that you can bring over to Lotto.com?
Um, I will give you the short answer and then I will give you the long answer, right?
Perfect.
I think everything that I did, it's agnostic of the industry, right? As I mentioned, I build teams, I scale processes in highly regulated markets. And that applies to Europe, that applies to US, that applies to all over the world, and that applies outside of the gaming industry. One of the things that I like to always touch on is how much my European experience helped me in embedding the responsible play and controls in everything that I'm doing. And that's one thing that I'm taking with me after my experience in Flutter and my last years in FanDuel. Then another transferable skills is just building teams, right? When you are building a product, it's essentially to acknowledge that there are hardworking people, passionate people behind it. So building teams, sharing a strategy and a vision with them, and aligning everybody towards the same goal while moving as a fast pace. That's also that I enjoy doing it. I did it for the last 13 years, and I'm taking it with me at Lotto.com.
Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, Amy Howe's recent departure, as well as the fresh news about Peter Jackson and Dan Taylor's transition. So I was wondering, how do you reflect on all the changes currently happening at Flutter and FanDuel?
Um, Flutter is a very mature company, and change was always part of. I think change is part of everybody's strategies. I have huge respect for everybody. Part of the leadership, then they highly influenced my career and the way I work today. And I'm excited to see what they will be doing after these changes in the next few years.
Of course, I appreciate you speaking on that. It was certainly a headline-grabbing news today, so I wanted to, get your take on that. But, turning attention back to your Lotto.com appointment, in the announcement you called lottery the last major gaming category to move online. Why do you see that opportunity as so significant at the moment?
Um, if you look at where Europe, for example, lotteries from a digital perspective, I think we are just starting in the US. The growth curve is ahead of us, not behind us, right? There's still room to innovate. There's still room to grow engagement and make our products, our lottery products, more engaging and touch more people that are there might not be lottery customers today.
Absolutely. In your new role as COO, you'll oversee operational strategy and execution for the organization. What are your immediate priorities in the first 3 to 6 months?
I would say I have three big priorities. One is scaling operations. As you know, um, lottery has very complex operations behind it. So making sure that we have very clean playbooks when it comes to like launching new products or launching new states, we can scale that effectively. We are addressing the customer pain points and we serve them as best as we can. That's one of the focus point for me. The second one is the buzzword everywhere, right? Like automation, AI. Like every company, we are playing with it and we are like trying to incorporate this as much as possible. But what's the sweet spot, and how can AI and automation in general can contribute to the way we are scaling operation, making us more to move faster, to ideate more, and in the end, everything should translate into a better customer experience. And then just spending time, proper time with all the teams, getting to know everybody. As I mentioned, everybody who work with me knows that I'm truly high on people and people development and teams development. So making sure that while we are growing, while we are shipping really cool stuff and great products, we also have teams that are engaged and happy and proud that they are working at lotto.com.
Yeah, absolutely. From a longer term point of view, how do you define success for Lotto.com and then over the next 2 to 3 years, both operationally and in terms of the impact that you have on states and customers that you work with?
How do we define success? Well, success wears different hats, right? One is how engaged are our customers, how much they are like enjoying playing on our platform, what retention rates are looking. Also success look, how many new states are we penetrating, right? Where are we launching our product in the next months, year, successfully. Another success criteria is how well we are protecting our players, right? Because you cannot have a successful business if you don't take responsible play seriously. This is big part of our growth strategy. So making sure that our customers are protected, they have visibility on how much they spend, they have everything available, limits for them. That's also like a success criteria.
Yeah, and what operational challenges are unique to a lottery courier platform such as Lotto.com compared to the traditional online gaming or sports betting platforms that you've worked with in the past?
I would name two. As I mentioned, right? We are courier, so the model from an operations perspective brings more challenges, more manual operations. So scaling that and while maintaining competitive SLAs and also being innovative in a space that have guardrails. That's one difference. Um, and then if I think about the another challenge is we are in less states, right? Comparing with the sports betting. So yeah, just it's similar, but also different because lottery couriers are differently regulated their sports betting.
Yeah, of course. It's always interesting to hear the kind of discrepancies between regulation for all the different gaming types that have evolved over the years. But speaking on one of the latest innovations in gaming, prediction markets have obviously disrupted kind of the whole technology scale. Are there any ways that it also affects your sector?
No, we are not seeing any disruption at the moment.
Okay, that's fantastic to hear. Speaking on Lotto.com's recent moves, I saw that you expanded into Puerto Rico, your first primarily Spanish speaking market. What lessons can be taken from that launch and be used for future geographical expansion?
So I spoke about playbooks. I think that's one recent launch. But with every state launch, we are reviewing the way we go about new markets, what can be scaled with every new launch. If it's a state product, if it's a state, if it's a new product, because we recently also launched Kino in some states. We always iterate, right? Because back to my point on operational excellence, you want to have repeatable framework so that you are not starting from scratch anytime when you go live in a new state.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. And beyond convenience, what role do you believe digital platforms such as Lotto.com play in the long term health and relevancy of state lotteries?
I think we complement each other, right? I think if you think about the lottery ecosystem, you have the retails, you have us in some states, you have the iLottery. Basically, if you merge the power and the acquisition efforts, we are bringing more customers into playing the lottery and enjoying the thrill of big jackpots.
Of course, it sounds like a little bit of a match made in heaven situation. So, taking a step back and looking at the broader regulated gaming landscape, where do you see the biggest opportunities and potential pitfalls for digital lottery in the next 5 years?
It's all about some regulations, right? Making sure that we stay on top of any new regulations that are coming our way. Also, while, as I mentioned, the regulations and the responsible play continue to be innovative and entertain the customer. And I always joke that truly I find lottery one of the most entertaining gaming product. When you have jackpots of billions, right? Like it doesn't matter if you are a student, a CEO, or right. Like everybody has the same big dream. So how do we maintain that thrill outside of jackpots through other products that we are offering, like Kino or Scratch? So continue to be innovative and also match our customers' expectations. Because I think it's very, very, very important to acknowledge that our customers, most of them, while they are Lotto.com customers, they might play also sports, other gaming products, and they use many other apps in their day-to-day life. So the expectation when it comes to how fast the product is reacting, the level of customer service that they are getting, it's not only set up by our competitors or the industry, it's set up by everything that they are interacting with in their day-to-day life. So also keeping up with the customer expectation, moving fast while being compliant and being very mindful and operating with responsible play at core. That's a combination that requires thoughtful work.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of, it's funny to hear you speak on the excitement of lottery, because having grown up on the East Coast, I can remember driving by all the billboards that say however many hundreds of millions of dollars the current jackpot is. And as a 8 or 9 year old, you're like, wow, you can't even imagine winning that much money. But just to kind of wrap up here, outside of the normal day-to-day responsibilities, what aspect of this role or the general lottery sector excite you most and, give you the most energy?
Um, I truly believe that we just started the digitalisation, let's say, era of lottery. So every day I'm brainstorming with my teams, or what can we do better? What are we hearing from the customer? What are we seeing? So one thing that truly excited me is just building, back to my builder profile, is just building a really good product. And it seems easy. It's harder than it looks. And people that are in this space most probably will relate to that. But again, the one of the biggest opportunity that truly excites me is building a really good product for our customers.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear, and congratulations once again on the appointment. We're certainly excited to see what you and Lotto.com have in store in the future. And thank you so much once again for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.